and welcome to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. I'm Juliet the daughter.
And as always, I'm Kevin the dad. So, Juliet, what did you pick for us this time?
Well, based on a Final Jeopardy clue that we saw when we were visiting my Nana a couple of weeks ago, today we're talking about Bruce Springsteen. So, Dad, what do we need to know?
And which album did you pick?
Oh, Born to Run.
Thank you.
Duh.
So, yeah, Bruce Springsteen. I'm just going to go with life and career highlights because there's just so much stuff. So, yeah, a lot of stuff will be left out.
We'd never be able to cover it in under an hour.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Plus, there's a shit ton of Bruce bios out there for you to peruse, as well as his autobiography called, wait for it, Born to Run.
Okay, go pick up a copy of that at your local Barnes & Noble.
As opposed to Born to Write. Anyway, Bruce Springsteen was born on July 4th, 1776. He single-handedly...
What? 1776?
He single-handedly freed the slaves, won World Wars I and II, and invented rock and roll.
The end. Good night, everybody.
Yeah, no. Okay, take two. Bruce Frederick Joseph Springsteen was born September 23rd, 1949 in Long Beach, New Jersey. He grew up in Freehold, New Jersey. His father, Doug, was a bus driver and held other jobs. He also suffered from mental health problems, which worsened in later years.
Oof.
His mother, Adele, was a legal secretary and prime breadwinner for the family. Bruce has two younger sisters, Virginia and Pamela. Bruce was raised Catholic, went to St. Rose of Lima Catholic School in Freehold, and was at odds with the nuns and rebelled against the strictures. He later said that his Catholic upbringing was the biggest influence on his music. Once a Catholic, always a Catholic.
For better or for worse, continue.
When he was 7, he saw Elvis on Ed Sullivan. His mom rented him a guitar, but it didn't take because he couldn't play it instantly.
Oops.
Seeing the Beatles in 1964 was the inspiration he needed to take it seriously. He went to Freehold High School, graduated in 1967, but felt so alienated he skipped the ceremony. Former teachers remembered him as a loner who just wanted to play his guitar.
Aww.
In 1969, he was drafted for Vietnam, but failed the physical due to suffering a concussion in a motorcycle accident when he was 17.
Oh, shit.
And crazy behavior at the induction. The mind reels. In 1965, he became the lead guitarist and one of the lead singers for the Castiles. In the late 60s, he was briefly in a power trio called Earth. From 69 to 71, he performed with Steel Mill, with other notable members Denny Federici, Vinnie Lopez, and Steve Van Zandt. They got good reviews and developed a cult following. Bruce briefly played in a few other bands, was brought to the attention of Columbia Records talent scout John Hammond, who had also signed Bessie Smith, Aretha Franklin, and Bob Dylan.
Wow.
And was signed to Columbia by Clive Davis in 1972. His first two albums, Greetings from Asbury Park and The Wild, the Innocent, and the E Street Shuffle, both released in 1973, got great reviews, but not a lot of sales. Greetings was more folky, but The Wild was more R&B. After seeing the band play at the Harvard Square Theater, music critic John Landau penned the immortal words in Boston's The Real Paper, "I have seen the future of rock and roll, and its name is Bruce Springsteen."
Cool.
So much so that Landau helped finish producing Born to Run and became Bruce's manager and full-time producer, probably much to the annoyance of Bruce's current producer-manager, Mike Appel.
Uh-oh.
Born to Run took 14 months to record, with 6 being spent on the title track. Bruce had a sound in his head he was trying to get out and became frustrated that he couldn't. His quote was, he wanted to make music, he wanted to make an album that had words like Dylan, sound like Phil Spector production, and to sing it like Roy Orbison.
Well, he did 2 out of 3.
Yeah, he got 2 out of 3 of those
66%.
things.
That's an amazing batting average.
Yeah. He and Landau brought in Steve Van Zandt, who was playing guitar for and producing Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes. Steve got Bruce what he wanted and joined the band the opening night of the Born to Run tour.
Oh, shit.
Born to Run came out on August 25th, 1975, and blew up huge. It hit number 3 on Billboard's 200 albums chart, and it would go on to sell 6 million copies in the U.S. alone. Bruce would appear on the covers of Time and Newsweek the same week. The cover is iconic and has been lifted and parodied. Check out Cheap Trick's album Next Position Please and Sesame Street's genius Born to Add album with Bert as Bruce and Cookie Monster as Clarence Clemens.
Which will be the thumbnail for this video.
Then, a legal battle with Mike Appel kept Bruce out of the studio for nearly a year, as Bruce wanted to replace Appel with John Landau as manager and producer. Bruce found the pal to be alienating during the Born to Run sessions. Eventually, it was settled out of court. Bruce's follow-up album, Darkness on the Edge of Town, came out in June of 1978. Darkness had a leaner sound, and Bruce's Shaggy Dog story lyrics were becoming a thing of the past. During this time, other artists were getting huge hits with Bruce songs. Patti Smith would Because the Night, Manfred Mann would Blinded by the Light, and best of all, the Pointer Sisters would Fire. The River came out in 1980. 2 records, 20 songs, Bruce's first #1 album. The solo acoustic Nebraska came out in 1982, and the world-dominating Born in the USA in 1984. Everyone wanted to hitch their star to Bruce's wagon when that album came out, from everyday fans to Ronald Reagan.
Which did not work.
Amazingly, Bruce didn't go crazy in public. No bad rock star behavior, no scandals, no addictions. Steve Van Zandt would leave the band in '84, but would come back briefly in 1995 and permanently again in 1999.
And don't forget Little Steven in the Underground Garage on 84 HJY. That's how I first heard him.
And also playing Silvio Dante on The Sopranos.
Yeah.
The massive 5-record set, Live 1975 to 1985, came out in 1986, followed by the very sedate Tunnel of Love, which documented Bruce's disintegrating marriage to model/actress Juliet Phillips.
Oh, dear.
Bruce would later have a happy ending, marrying Patti Scalfa, and they would have 3 kids. Evan, who is a musician, Jessica, who's an equestrian, and Sam, who's a firefighter. And then the 90s. 2 albums released at once with session musicians were his first bombs. But he did win an Oscar for Streets of Philadelphia for the movie Philadelphia.
Oh, yeah.
He put out a second solo acoustic album, The Ghost of Tom Joad, and went on a small venue solo tour,
Jodes.
dubbed by diehards as the Shut the Fuck Up Tour, because Bruce would come out, tell the audience he'd appreciate quiet during the music, and if anyone around him was talking, to politely lean over and tell them to
Shut the fuck up.
Right.
I kind of like that. I wish more musicians would do that.
In 1999, Bruce was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a no-brainer. The E Street Band would be inducted in 2014.
Really?
Yep.
They did that separately.
Yep.
Huh? Can you can do that?
Well, that was like Smokey Robinson got inducted solo, and then the rest of the Miracles got inducted
No,
later.
they should get it all together. That's stupid.
Kind of should, yeah.
Yeah.
The E Street Band backed Bruce on 2002's The Rising, their first time on a Bruce record since Born in the USA back in 1984. Since then, it's been more albums, tours, Grammy wins, 2 stints on Broadway, and a special Tony Award, which may or may not count as a real Tony, depending who you are. Jules?
Okay, so normally when they give special achievement Tony Awards or lifetime achievement Tony Awards, that means that you've had a long career in the theater or you've done something special in the theater and they want to recognize your hard work. For example, Cheetah Rivera has one. The playwright Terrence McNally has one. Brian Stokes Mitchell got a special one because he was the head of the Actors Fund, which gives money to unemployed actors who are struggling to feed their families. Bruce Springsteen's, I was ready to dunk on him, but I kind of like him now. So I haven't seen the show. Apparently it was good when it came out. I do remember, though, when it was announced that it was coming back to Broadway, the entire theater community was like, why is this opening first instead of all the other musicals that have been running for years? People were kind of puzzled about that. But I will say that Bruce's Tony performance he did after he won the award was not good, and I will tell you why. When you do a Tony performance, you want something that's going to get the audience to their feet. You want something that's either rousing, like a big song and dance number, or a big ballad that'll make the audience cry. Bruce did none of that. He did what he does at his concerts, which is the problem. He told a 6-minute monologue while playing background piano, and I was watching it live, and I was like, when's the song? When's the song? There's gotta be a song.
You gotta earn it, baby.
There was no song.
Really?
No, it was just a monologue, and I was like, this is the Tony Awards. It's song and dance. Give me a song number. It's like when David Byrne performed at the Tony Awards, and he didn't perform Cross-Eyed and Painless or anything that would have got the audience to their feet. It was just weird and awkward. So, Bruce, come on. You have songs that get people to their feet. Why didn't you do one of those? Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, he also co-wrote a book with President Barack Obama, who awarded Bruce with the Medal of Freedom back in 2016.
I remember that.
So he and Rush Limbaugh have something in common. At the end of 2021, Bruce sold the masters of his catalog and music publishing rights to Sony Music for $500 million.
I think I remember that.
Now, as for me, I remember hearing the song Born to Run when it came out in 75 thinking, man, it's kind of a long song.
But it's good.
We got a promo copy of the album itself from a DJ from JB105 who was friendly with Uncle Joey and eventually the whole family. I don't know if Uncle Joey still has it.
Uncle Joey, do you?
Let us know.
Yeah.
I held out until 2015 to buy it remastered on CD. I also picked up Darkness on the Edge of Town, The River, and Born in the USA. And I just borrowed and downloaded or uploaded one of them, Nebraska, from the library a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see Bruce once.
Really?
On the Born in the USA tour at the Providence Civic Center in January of 1985.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle John had an extra ticket and asked Uncle Joey if he wanted it. He said no.
Oh my God, he must regret that for all his days.
Not really, because I think he knew I really wanted to go see him.
Oh, well, good for him then.
And
yeah.
since I was next in line, yes.
You got the ticket. I never knew Uncle John was a Springsteen fan.
So Bruce and band played for about 2 hours, took a short break, and then played for almost another 2 hours. He even donated a big chunk of money to the Rhode Island Food Bank.
Oh, wow.
Now, this is one of the few times when I saw an artist on the right tour, like the big tour. Like, you know, I saw Prince on his, I think it was his Love Sexy tour, as opposed to seeing him on the Purple Rain tour.
Oh.
Which is what Uncle Joey saw him. He saw him on the Purple Rain tour.
Oh, wow.
Or, I mean, another one that I got right was I was able to see Dire Straits on their Brothers in Arms tour. That was like the big album.
And yet you never saw The Clash.
That's a story for another time.
Well, we already discussed that on our Clash episode, so if you want to hear that story, you can hear it on that. Anyway, shall we talk about the album?
Yes, I believe we shall.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
So, first track, Thunder Road. If you remember our Traveling Wilburys episode from Season 1, you remember how Dad listed all the Bruce Springsteen references in Tweeter and the Monkey Man. Thunder Road was one of them. I previously associated Bruce Springsteen with 3 things: New Jersey, Christmas, and critiquing America, e.g. Born in the USA. Now I finally get why my friend Ned, hi Ned if you're out there, has a crush on him. I got that he was handsome when he was younger, but if a man played this outside my house on a boombox a la John Cusack, I'd throw the door open, leap into his arms, give him the kiss of his life, climb in the front seat of his car, and drive off to anywhere. And as for this song, you can tell he's trying to be Roy Orbison, but when he gets his real voice, it's quite pleasant. Bruce's girl is scared of the future and where they're heading in their partnership. You can tell he's not perfect, but you know he loves her and wants to bring her out of her shell and help her heal from pain. He also makes a promise that has the potential to be corny and cliched. I'm going to get out of this podunk town and make something of myself. But he doesn't say it with a wink, he's sincere. And I want to drive down Thunder Road with him and pull out of here to win. So that's another thing to add to the list. To paraphrase Joan Didion, I've had men tell me they love me, but I've never had a man tell me I smell like honey or tell me to throw roses in the rain.
Okay, then.
Your turn.
Oh, it's going to be hard to top. Okay, it starts out with a harmonica and the slow piano when you think Dylan. And then the piano tempo picks up fast enough to get that idea out of your head. The screen door slams, Mary's dress waves. Nope, wait, the lyric sheet's wrong. Been wrong for 46 years.
Oh, controversy.
Yeah, this actually came out, I remember this coming out last year where John Landau came out and said, nope, should be Mary's dress sways. And then listening to Thunder Road on headphones, it's like, yeah, I guess that's what he's really saying.
Mm-hmm.
But I like waves better. I mean, it can wave in the breeze, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, and poor Mary gets hit with a backhanded compliment insult. You ain't a beauty, but hey, you're all right, and oh, that's all right with me.
It's
Gee,
like Shakespeare's
thanks.
sonnet. Yeah.
I mean, if I had said that to your mom, you would not be sitting across from me.
No, well,
we wouldn't even have this podcast.
It's kind of like that Shakespearean sonnet where he says, yeah, my lover might not be that beautiful, but I love her and she's beautiful to me, so suck on that. It's basically what he says.
Yeah, but he's telling her, you ain't a beauty, but yeah, you're all right.
Oh, like you'll do.
It's like Krusty the Clown. Not just good, good enough. And the other Simpsons thing, all I can picture is Abe Simpson telling Homer when Homer was pursuing Marge, go for the dented can, son. Go for the dented can.
Oh, God.
Anyway, the rest of the band kicks in after a minute, and the Spectre comparisons can begin, and they're deserved. Just a dense sound, but clear too at the same time. Overall, for me, the song exudes blind romantic optimism. Hey girl, let's hit the road. I got this guitar and I learned how to make it talk. Car's out back, the door's open, but the ride ain't free. So what's it gonna cost to get in? Gas money? Mary's virginity, assuming? Future happiness? Now, let's say they do hit the road.
Right.
Together.
Uh-huh.
Because I think Bruce may just be going by himself if she says no.
Yeah.
It's a town full of losers and I'm pulling out here to win. But say she says yes, and they're driving and driving until hunger sets in. Where do we eat? Where do we stay? Is there the bathroom around here?
Don't you dare ruin this song for me.
How much-
Don't you dare.
How much money do we have? I'm sorry, but for me, it's like the real world comes crashing in, and the next thing you know, Bruce and Mary are knocking over liquor stores to survive.
This isn't
which
the real...
could be another song. But like I said, blind romantic optimism, so everything's going to work out fine while you're listening to the song anyway.
Hey, this is the part of the movie where the credits roll and you assume they lived happily ever after to the end.
You mean like as the car drives over the cliff and suspends in midair? And
That's
then
Thelma and Louise.
I know, but could be the same thing. And you're like, yeah, they'll make it.
Right?
And he has also the first mention of the Promised Land in this song. He'd use that as a song title in Darkness on the Edge of Town, but I'll take Chuck Berry's Promised Land any day. And another thing with Bruce is he recycles a lot of song titles that other people have used.
Okay.
A lot of times.
Did he get sued?
No, I mean, it's like, it's open season
Gotcha.
on song titles.
It's only rock and roll. Next
But
track.
I like it.
Okay. 10th Avenue Freeze Out. Okay, I have no idea what this song is about. I googled 10th Avenue in New Jersey. Not too much helpful information came up. So I'm just going to talk about the musical influences I hear. First, the lyrics definitely tell me that Bruce listened to Bob Dylan growing up. I can hear Bob singing this, and also maybe Bob not understanding what it's about either. Second, I know you said Bruce was inspired by the Phil Spector Wall of Sound, but with the horn section, I hear James Brown in there in terms of their precision. Hopefully Bruce is nicer to his band than James was to his studio musicians. Anyways, please explain the song to me because I can't make a judgment until I know more, or at least know more context.
Oh, it's a Shaggy Dog story about how the band came to be.
Oh.
Bad Scooter is Bruce. BS, Bad Scooter. BS, Bruce Springsteen.
And also bullshit.
Waka waka. The only way you know it's supposed to be about the band is the line about the big man, which is Clarence Clemens' nickname.
Oh, okay.
When he talks about the big man joining the band. I don't know what the title means, but neither does Bruce.
Really?
Though he has said it's important. And all I can think of is the Queen in Disney's Alice in Wonderland. Write that down. It's very important.
It's a mystery.
Yes, it is. But, I mean, it sounds pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now Steve Van Zandt came up with the horn intro.
Thanks, Steve.
He's good with horns. He's great with horns.
Yeah.
And it's a fun song, and it proves that Bruce isn't Mr. Serious all the time.
Yeah, you don't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
Next track, Night. I'm going to state an opinion here.
Go ahead.
You could pair this song with Dolly Parton's 9 to 5, and also, in a way, with Deo, the Banana Boat song by Harry Belafonte, in terms of songs about being overworked and starting to lose yourself, although the Banana Boat song has a more serious context.
And 9 to 5 is just fun?
It's been used as protest songs. I mean, there was a whole episode on the Orville where this alien race started a revolution, and they heard Dolly Parton's 9 to 5, and they said, "This shall be the song of our revolution!" And it was also mentioned in my political science nonviolent activism course when we talked about how songs have been used by protesters, kind of protesting against the man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Anyway, this song is very relatable. Coming into work and grind and grind and grind until either your shift is over or it's closing time and you can go into the night, either to rage or to finally let your guard down, which I think a lot of people find relatable. I know a lot of people love nighttime because it feels like the only time they let their guard down so they can be themselves after spending most of your day as a version of you just to be able to make money and pay bills.
Like vampires.
I was talking more in the internal, like,
I know,
my life
I
is
know.
a lie sense, but yeah, sure, if you want to see it that way. And if you're in the common position of really hating your job, then you really hold on to the night to lose yourself, sometimes in the arms of someone if you're fortunate. But at the same time, you love that rush of clocking out and going out into the world and what it brings you. I can just picture myself listening to this after working a closing shift at Whole Foods and rocking out in my car. That might have helped me blow off steam after dealing with entitled rich people all day. Anyway, even now, this song makes me want to nod solemnly while dragging on a cigarette. And I don't smoke, but it does feel appropriate.
Uh-huh.
Like, yeah.
my first reaction when I heard this was, this is a pretty good song.
Yeah, it is.
Because, at the risk of pissing off Bruce fans out there, I just couldn't recognize the tune by the title. So, there you go. This sets the template for Bruce's blue-collar songs. Guys trapped in dead-end jobs who have to have some kind of release to feel alive. In this case, it's drag racing and trying to find that special someone along the way. Mm-hmm. This scenario would be repeated in Racing in the Street. Yep, as in Summer's Here and the Time is Right.
For Dancing in the Street.
Right, yeah, or in this case, Racing in the Street.
Yeah,
and that song would be on Darkness of the Edge of Town. Only in that song, the guy has a girl who's just given up on life.
Oh.
But yeah, anyway, I was surprised, this is a pretty good song.
Next track, Backstreets. My first note, this song is over 6 minutes. Will it feel that way once the song starts? Answer? No, it feels appropriately paced. What's interesting about this song is that Terry's gender is never explicitly stated. Some people have even interpreted this song as being about a potential gay lover. Given the ambiguity over Terry's gender identity, I'd say it's meant to be interpreted by you, the fan. What I interpreted as are friends who were maybe once lovers, but are always soulmates. These were two friends who found each other very young, probably as teenagers, and they made the promise that they'd be friends forever. But something happened, life happened, and now they're no longer friends. And I just realized that kind of sounds like Fox and the Hound, which, sorry to make everyone cry over that movie again. Anyway, but Bruce still feels Terry with him, tattooed on his heart. This kind of feels like what Fleetwood Mac was talking about in The Chain, only in Backstreets there's no spoken agreement about never breaking the bond. And what's so sad is that they wanted to be something great. They wanted to be heroes, only to find they're bitter like everyone else. I love this song along with Thunder Road, but I think with this one, I'd have to be in the mood to listen to it. If I was in the wrong headspace, you'd probably find me curled up in front of the fridge staring at the wall. Yeah.
We get about a minute intro of Roy Bittan on piano and organ, and I listened to this, and it seems like some of it was recycled for the title track on Darkness on the Edge of Town. The lyrics about Bruce and Terry's relationship are ambiguous. Could be homosexual. Could be an intense platonic friendship that's died out. But on bootlegs of the song, it's established that Terry is a woman, as references to she and little girl are dropped. Anyway, it's all very dramatic, with Bruce's wailing on the back streets.
Yeah.
He throat.
Oh, God. Don't do that. We got the rest of the show to do.
I know. He details his and Terry's exploits and how Terry eventually went away. I lost track of how many times Bruce Springs hiding on the back streets at the end. It's a lot.
But it's fun.
And he ends it with his oft-parodied wordless wailing, and thus endeth side one. But this song also gave birth to the fanzine of the same name and eventually the website backstreets.com. Check it out.
Oh, is it still running? Still active?
Still active.
Oh, cool.
As of yesterday, anyway.
All right, next track.
Side two.
The title track, Born to Run. The big one I loved growing up because the music was so darn catchy and good. This is the song where we really hear the Phil Spector influence with the big wall of sound, but it sounds better than Phil's, probably due to the remaster. And Bruce doesn't sound so drowned out by the music like some of Phil's singers, and neither does Clarence when he comes in on that saxophone solo. The part where the wall of sound overwhelms you is with that kick-ass instrumental that you ride like a wave as the key changes, and ends with a crashing halt that has you going, whoa! And when you listen to the lyrics, you like the song even more. This is basically the more frantic version of Thunder Road. Thunder Road was a romantic slow burn because the primary focus was the girl. This song is about needing to escape, and Bruce desperately wants to escape with someone, because in this crazy country that chews you up and spits you out, he wants to know love is real if he can have one perfect night with her. And eventually, they'll get out of here, but until then, the two of them were born to run. To keep on going together at a fast pace to try to beat the chaos going on around them, and then maybe one day they'll walk in the sun. Great song. Also, I gotta ask, is this our second Springsteen reference from Tweeter and the Monkey Man with Highway 9, or was that Highway 99?
I don't know. You'd have to go back and listen to...
All right, let me go on Google really quick.
Okay, so while you do
Hold on, I have one last thought before I go on Google. One final side note, if you haven't heard Melissa Etheridge's cover of this at the Kennedy Center Honors, it's great. Look it up. Okay, I'll Google Tweeter and the Monkey Man when you talk.
Okay, so can you, Google and listen to me at the same time?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. Now, if you're going to spend 6 months working on one song, you damn well better have something to show for it.
And?
Brian Wilson spent 7 months working on Good Vibrations, and it paid off. But Bruce... Well, yeah, of course it paid off.
Yeah!
Come on,
What the hell were you going to say?
This song is nothing less than epic.
Okay, update. It's Highway 99 that they reference in Tweeter and the Monkey Man, not Highway 9. Must be a different song. Anyways, continue.
Maybe Bob did that to differentiate.
Maybe.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We've got Spectorian production right down to a glockenspiel, for God's sake.
Oh, glockenspiel.
And who doesn't love saying glockenspiel?
Yeah, it's a fun word.
I know.
Like Kenny Pena. Glockenspiel. That's a fun word, Jerry.
It's gold, Jerry. Gold!
Okay.
And, yeah, when you reference the Spector production, like how you can hear Bruce's voice is clear, everything's clear.
Not like Bobby B. Sox just trying to shout during the bells of St. Mary's.
Well, the thing is, it's like Phil's stuff screams out to be remastered, especially the box set back to mono.
Well, who's got control over that now that he's dead?
It's kind of bounced all over the place. The last I knew, I think Sony/Columbia has distribution rights, but I don't know if it's still under the thumb of the Alan B. Klein Company.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it could be.
Anyway,
and you've got those great woes at the end. What?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Dad, stop it. We gotta go with the show.
Bruce sings about being trapped in Freehold, and he has to get out, and he wants Wendy to come with him. And yeah, this sort of trods similar ground as Thunder Road.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got Thunder Road, First Song Side 1, Born to Run, First Song Side 2. Anyway, so tramps like them, baby, they were born to run. But to where? Anywhere but here, I guess, which everyone's felt like that. Like, I just want to get out of here. Where do you want to go? Anywhere but here. Okay, well, why don't you just go to the next town over? No, it's still the same.
Oh,
and then you travel 3,000 miles away and you're like, is this any better? But then you realized you can run away, but you can't run away from yourself.
That's why I feel so bad for Mike, because he was supposed to start his first semester at Northeastern in Boston this year, and he was like, I'm finally getting out of Rhode Island! I'm finally getting out of Rhode Island! And then, due to COVID, your first semester will be at home online.
Oh!
And it was like he was so close to getting out.
Wow.
Well, maybe next semester, depending on how the whole Panorama Panini Press goes. Anyway,
Mighty Max Weinberg does not play drums on this song.
Really?
Ernest Boom Carter does, and the man rises to the challenge of it all.
What happened to Ernest?
I believe he went on with a couple of the other former E Street guys. It was kind of like a not like a revolving door, but guys were kind of coming and going, and a couple of them decided they were going to go off and form their own band. Okay. Also, this is the only song on Born to Run on which John Landau does not appear as producer. It's just Bruce and his good buddy Mike Appel. Also, in this song, Bruce teaches us how to count to 4. This led to Ben Stiller's parody of Bruce teaching kids how to count. He starts off, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then incoherent babbling.
Yeah, after that it gets stuck.
But you can still somehow understand it.
It gets hard to understand what he's saying. And I love it where he stops and goes, wait, where was I?
How high did I get up to?
Yeah, hilarious.
Yeah.
The one downside of this song is it gave Jim Rome's show caller Silk Bra his sign-off line. Tramps like us, every damn time.
Take that up with Jim Rome, not with Bruce.
Or Silk.
Or Silk, yeah. Next track, She's the One. I almost like this song. I almost do, and it kills me to how close I almost like it.
What's holding you back?
Okay, the music is gorgeous without feeling dated, a kick-ass rock section, and beautiful lyrics about a gorgeous woman who loves Bruce and can't penetrate his heart of stone. He knows she's the one for him, and he can't stand it and wants to run even though he loves her back. It would be so perfect if it wasn't for Bruce's singing voice. I haven't had a problem with it until now. He's trying to do some vocal affectations that just don't work. And what also kills me is when he sings that whoa, it sounds so sexy. But then he goes back to singing words with a weird emphasis on the wrong syllable that almost border on a bad Elvis impression that I'm thinking, Bruce, stop, just sing like you. So if anyone knows of a cover of this song done by a man that doesn't goof with his singing voice, please DM it to me on Twitter or Instagram, and I will be eternally grateful because I really want to like this song, I just might need a different version for it to be cemented in my heart. Please, and don't send me the one done by U2 and Bono, or I will be very, very mad.
Wow.
Okay, how about you?
I never looked at the song that way before. But yeah, I can kind of see the
Emphasis
Elvis
on the
coming in.
wrong syllable.
Yeah, I can kind of see that. Now, I look at it from a different point of view where Bruce is in love with an ice queen. French kisses will not break that heart of stone, but damn it, she's the one. Even though she may not be good for you, messing up your insides, putting you through an emotional blender, and God knows we've all run across that person at least once in our lives.
So you could say that she could easily scramble his insides like eggs at Denny's.
Damn it, she's the one. Now, I think, granted, he didn't invent the shave and the haircut 2 bits beat, but I think Bo Diddley should have gotten a songwriting credit on this one. I think at the end, though, Bruce is more in love with the beat than the Ice Queen, Elsa. Can't blame him, though, because rock and roll will never let you down. People may, drugs may, but not rock and roll, baby. It's forever. Yeah. But that's really, I never thought about that. I'm going to have to go back and re-listen to it.
It sounds like he's doing like a bad mix of Elvis and Roy. And I'm like, no, we don't want to hear them. We want to hear you. And your impression of them is bad. Please stop.
Well, maybe he's done it live and it sounds better.
Oh, I hope so. It better be. The perfect version of this song might exist only in my dreams.
Could be.
Next track.
Next!
Meeting across the river. Hey, we start with piano and trumpets playing gently in the distance. That's a nice change of pace. Here's the story. Bruce is a criminal asking Eddie if he can get a ride, because tonight he has the potential to score some big-time cash. He just needs to hold up his end, because if he doesn't, they're not just going to be looking for him this time. So far, the only conditions for Eddie are be cool, don't say anything, and don't smile. Also, we have a subplot of Bruce stealing his girl's radio to grab a quick $2,000. And I finally understood what Jon Stewart was talking about. When you listen to Bruce Springsteen songs, you are a character in an epic poem about losers. Because that's what this character is, a loser. And yet, he gets some really good music and great writing. It's not my favorite on the album, but I can't deny how well written it is. It's pretty damn good.
Now, there's just 3 guys playing on this. There's Randy Brecker on trumpet, Roy Bittan on piano, and Richard Davis on double bass. Keeping it simple, going almost for like a film noir feel.
I can see that.
So Bruce has got some sort of deal about to go down. What it is, we don't exactly know.
Nope.
He needs his pal Eddie to catch them a ride and to dress a little nice for this, why don't you? Oh, and shut your mouth and carry a piece.
Well, in this case, it's not smile and wave, boys. It's don't smile.
Don't smile and don't wave, boys.
Don't smile and don't wave.
Yep. He's pissed off his girlfriend Sherry by hawking her radio. Can't blame her.
I'd be pissed too.
Yeah.
Radios are expensive.
But he's sure he's got $2,000 coming to him, and that'll make things better.
Oh, sure.
What could possibly go wrong?
Everything.
You just know it's not going to end well. And this is just like a Scorsese movie waiting to happen.
Is someone playing the music from Taxi Driver?
I don't know. But yeah, it's like, you know, yeah, Jon Stewart was right. It's kind of like you run into these characters and you know they're struggling and they're trying and they're going for that brass ring, but they're gonna miss it by that much. But I guess the heroic thing is the struggling, the trying, as opposed to the dying.
Final track, Jungle Land. My first note, 9 minutes and 36 seconds. Oh boy, this better be good. First impression, violins? Nice. Always nice to see violinists get paid, and I always like departures from tone. And while the music is great with one of the most beautiful endings ever, this is a song where I don't understand the meaning, so these 9 minutes are going to be really long. All I can tell is this song is Bruce taking snapshots of the underground life in a jungle of a city. Gangs are having a rumble, there's going to be a bust by cops, people are dancing in clubs, having sex, getting stabbed, drinking beer in the warm summer rain, and that's the most I got. So, Dad, please explain this to me, because I don't want to be kept in the dark about anything or anything I may have missed.
You pretty much got it.
Okay, great.
You pretty much got it.
Okay.
It's another epic. And the version I have is 9:23, but you got a 9:36?
9:36 on Spotify, yeah.
Okay, it out-epics Born to Run. So basically, it's like the magic rat's driving his sleek machine over the, where else? Jersey line. He picks up the barefoot girl, and they're just gonna go for it. Whatever.
It is.
Yeah. But the maximum lawmen, headed by Judge Dredd, are after the rat. We get some scenes of gang conflict, and the rat may be one of the members. And like all Bruce songs, you know that things are not going to end well for the rat. And they do not. The rat's own dream guns him down, and the girl's just left at the hotel room. Great Clarence Clemens sax solo, try and say that 4 times fast, before things go down, though. And after Bruce has sung all the words he can possibly sing, he just wails his lungs out, and, yeah, it's epic. 2 turds, though.
What's the matter?
The line about streets on fire probably led to the Darkness on the Edge of Town song, Streets of Fire, which isn't bad, but that song probably inspired the crummy 1984 movie of the same name, though that movie did beget the terrific I Can Dream About You by Dan Hartman, so it wasn't a total loss.
Okay, what's the second one?
The first lines of the song, the Rangers had a homecoming in Harlem late last night. I highly doubt anyone in Harlem cared about the New York Rangers hockey team.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I don't think so. But I could be.
Maybe
Bruce
the
seems-
Globetrotters. That would have been a better line.
Bruce seems to have trouble with sports references in his songs, the most blatant being in Glory Days when he sings about a friend who was a high school baseball player who could throw that speedball by you. It's a fastball, for Christ's sake. It's a fastball.
It's okay, Bruce. You're good at other things.
Yeah.
It doesn't... Hey, listen. What's that line from Calvin and Hobbes? I wouldn't be worried about this if he was a better student where Calvin can't catch the ball.
Yes.
I'm not worried. Bruce has other things going for him. Who cares if he doesn't know sports? He's fine.
I did hear some sports guys going off on that, though. But anyway.
Really? Oh, yeah. All right. Overall, Born to Run is an awesome album and is one of those CDs you need to listen to at least once in your life. I never thought I'd find Springsteen stuff relatable, but his songs are more existential than I realized, and unfortunately a lot of it is still relevant. Springsteen is definitely a very American performer, but given some of the topics, I wouldn't be surprised if his fan bases outside the US were huge. He's also more of a romantic than I thought, which explains why some people swoon over pictures of him when he was younger, and it wasn't just because he was cute. So do yourself a favor and listen to this album if you're not familiar with Springsteen. You might end up like me and love it more than you think. It's pretty fucking great.
Okay, this is Bruce, and Born to Run is allegedly one of those seminal albums you must love unconditionally. But I really have to be in the mood to hear it. I tend to gravitate towards any of the other Bruce albums that I have. Sacrilege, cry Bruce fans. You know what? I can live with that. Now, for a hilarious, scathing review of Born to Run, written by David Sprague, check out the book Kill Your Idols, edited by Jim DeRogatis and Carmel Carrillo. And basically, the whole book is taking these albums that have been idolized, and they're reviewed by people who can't stand them.
Oh, I kind of like that.
And it's really interesting because you get this whole other viewpoint.
What are some other albums in there?
Oh, Sgt. Pepper.
Oh, you must have liked that one.
Born in the USA. I'm dying here. There's just like so many albums. There's, I think, Exodus by Bob Marley. Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys.
You've got the book, right?
I've got the book.
Okay, we can look at it later.
Yeah. It's eye-opening and, again, hilarious. And I gotta say, this album has lots of words. I mean, lots and lots of words. I look at the booklet, and there's a shit ton of lyrics. And I read somewhere that Bruce can put 10 minutes of words into a 5-minute song.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And he can. I don't know how he remembers them all. Maybe by playing them 70 bajillion times helps.
Yeah, that'll do it.
And I give him credit for keeping it all in his head. I mean, someday it might have to be teleprompters like Sinatra had to do at the end.
Yeah.
Or seeing, when your mom and I went to see Felix Cavalieri, who was the lead singer for the Rascals, he had to have a like an iPad off to the side.
Oh,
and
dear.
someone in the audience called him out on that. And his thing was like,
I'm getting old. What do you want?
Yeah, that's what he said. Hey, I'm in my 70s. You know, I can't remember all this stuff.
Oh, now that you brought up the Rascals, I'm just going to bring this up 1 second. You were talking about the honorary Tonys earlier. So the Rascals didn't get one, but they did perform at the Tony Awards because Steven Van Zandt got them to do a concert on Broadway. That was an example of how rockers should do a performance for the Tonys, because they performed Good Lovin', and that was it, and everyone loved it. So Bruce should have done something like that instead of a 6-minute monologue with piano.
And that was huge on Steve Van Zandt's part, because
Yep.
the four members had not played with each other in decades. And for him to get those four guys together and play on Broadway, massive achievement. I wish I had seen that show.
I think you can find the clip on YouTube of the Tony performance.
Yeah, I'd want to see the whole concert, though. I mean, that must have been something.
Anyway, back to Bruce.
Anyway, so if you've got to own only one Bruce album, I'd go with Born in the USA.
Oh, wow. Oh, no, the fans are going to come for you. He doesn't care.
But this Born album is pretty good. You really do need the title track somewhere in your life.
Oh,
and yes,
yeah.
I'm sure Bruce fans come after me. I don't care.
And he's not saying, like, if you're stuck with this one, that's a bad thing. Like, if
No,
you have to be
no.
stuck with an album, it's a good album to be stuck with.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have any problem. I like it. I don't love it. I don't want to take it behind the middle of school and get it pregnant. But, I like it.
Yeah. On that note that I did not need in my head.
That's a 30 Rock reference.
Oh, God. Thank you, as always, for listening to another installment of My Dad Listens to This. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz. Follow me on social media for the episodes. And if you're friends with my dad, you can email the episodes right to your inbox. Thank you again. We will be back next time with another album to nitpick and gripe about. Dad, anything you want to say to our listeners before we sign off on this episode?
Tramps like us.
Born or on. Good night, everybody.